Okay, today's editorial, 4th June 2020. Time to discontinue free power for farmers. It has led to widespread wastage of water. It has led to widespread wastage of water and electricity. Shall I go? Everybody's ready? Are you able to see the screen? Great. Okay. If anybody want to say something, better to use audio. Okay. Because chat I will not see often. Let us go. Exactly 15 years after Manmohan Singh, as a Congress Prime Minister, openly spoke about the free power supply for the farmers, the BJP led. So it is not like only BJP wanted to do this. In fact, the Manmohan Singh himself, the greatest economist ever we had in India, okay, he himself said that we have to discontinue, or he was against the power supply scheme. Okay, and then BJP government led BJP-led government at the center is attempting to do away with the much abused scheme. Right on, free power to the farmers is a much abused scheme. Okay, and Manmohan Singh himself wanted this to be done away. Okay, which has been viewed by political parties as a major vote-catching policy measure. Right on this, okay, free power. You understand what is free power is? If you are a farmer, okay, if you are a farmer, then you have an option that not option, you will be getting a free electricity. You need not pay whatsoever it is. So people thought that it is good actually, because it is helping the farmers to have the electricity free, and they will be able to use it for pump and get the water for agriculture. It looks quite good, huh? But look at this, what are the problems in this? They will be listing out here. Okay, so one is vote catching policy. That means people will be voting for the political party who has given it or who are continuing to give this. This time, the center has prescribed that free power supply should be replaced. Underline, they're not completely abandoning it. They're replacing with the DBT, direct benefit transfer. Write down in notebook. Okay, the free power supply scheme will be replaced by DBT. Okay, as a condition to allow the state to increase their borrowing limit. Okay, this is a condition. If the state want to increase their borrowing limit, then it should be the condition. Okay, that means central government has said that you can borrow more, okay, from me or from anybody else. But one thing you have to do a reform is you have to reform the DBT. Okay, and DBT to be replacing the free power supply given to them. Clear, guys? This is not the first time that the UN government has recommended DBT with regard to electricity. But what is new is setting the time frame from the implementing. Right on this time around, they have said that within this time you have to implement this. By December this year, the DBT should be introduced at least in one district of the state. Write down. Okay, please write down. Yes, please write down. Okay, they have already said that, but this time they said a time frame. That is, by the December 2020, you should have at least one district where the free power is stopped, and you have a DBT instead. Clear? Still now clear? Everybody is there. Okay, how many of you are still sleeping and on in the class? Vishma is trying to speak. Okay. Okay, predictably, Tamil Nadu, which was the first state to introduce. Okay, write down if anybody wants this. Okay, Tamil Nadu is the first state to introduce this scheme. Okay, 1984. So they are saying that no, this is not possible. In fact, the Edappadi Palaniswamy has said categorically we will not implement. Okay, because there is an election coming in Tamil Nadu, they cannot implement this thing. But let us see. Okay, so right on this year, 1984, Tamil Nadu is the first state to introduce this. Now they are opposing this. Okay, then Telangana, Andhra Pradesh will start. It is difficult to predict this response. Punjab actually was one of the first state to remove this. Okay, remove this. Now he is supporting it. Okay, so after he removed it, he was not in power. That is also true. Then comes it may be pretending to point out I am here. Okay, I am here. Where I am reading is okay. Go with me. Okay, Okay, it is maybe pretended to point out that India is the largest user of groundwater. Okay, right on. India is the largest. While we're discussing about MSP, I said that one of the drawback of MSP is the depletion of groundwater. That time I should have told you this electricity also. Okay, so MSP along with the free electricity, they will come use the water like anything. One of the largest groundwater user in the world, okay, 251 billion cubic meters, exceeding combined with all of China and the US. Okay. As pointed out by the Bharat Ramasamy of the Indian Statistical Institute last year. Okay, please don't know this important statistic. 251 billion, this number is important. 251 billion cubic meters is what we use, okay, per year, again, which is largest in combined. So India is using too much of water. Because of that, only drought is happening. Because of only we don't have water. Okay. So look at this free electricity. Okay. It looks like good because the farmers are not able to pay the electricity again. But later, what happened? It will create a depletion of groundwater. Okay, groundwater is gone. Okay, when the groundwater is gone, then drought is coming, which will affect the food security again. Will affect the farmers only. Clear, guys? Is it clear? Okay. Then comes second. Be it a part of Kaveri Delta in Tamil Nadu or a Sangur district of Punjab. The story around the groundwater table is the same. A worrying rate of depletion. There is one more attendant problem. Okay. To sustain their activity, farmers need to go for submersible or high capacity pump. Okay, right on this. They go for because there's no water because water has depleted. They use high capacity pump set, which means high electricity. Okay. Okay. First instance itself, there. See, we have excess of irrigation when we give a free electricity. That is a problem. Understand? Okay. Third, the extension of the scheme of different states over the years has only encouraged installation of more pumps. Okay. Karnataka is a classic example. The number of irrigation pump set, which is around 17 lakh 12 years ago, now they have got 13 lakh. Okay. So pumps are getting more. Okay. That is a one information along with the free electricity. Further, there is a misuse of the scheme for which not just a section of farmers, but also field officials have to blame. Okay. So misuse also there. That means they use not only for agriculture, for other purpose also. You might have seen electrifying of elephant and all, electrifying. No, so that in fact for home consumption, industrial consumption, we don't know. So misuse of the scheme is also there. Right now, misuse of the scheme. Misuse of the scheme is also there. Okay. Then comes the fifth in the absence of meter for these connections or segregation of feeder or metering of the distribution system. Accurate measures of consumption becomes tricky. Very, very important. Right now, there is no meters for this. How much they are consuming, we don't know. How much they are consuming, okay, we don't know. So that is another problem. Okay, those in charge of the power distribution companies find it convenient to reduce their aggregate technical commercial losses by clubbing a portion of the losses with the energy consumption by the farm sector. Okay, so because there is no meters, what this energy distributing companies do, they will club their loss with the farm sector. Then we have lost because of the farm sector only. Okay. Now, so far we have seen what are the problems in this. What are the problems? First thing is one by one. Tell me, who is there? You have any disturbance like you have, if you're disturbing any of sleeping, then fine. Otherwise, tell me. Who can tell me the answer? Yeah, Farzana, can you tell me the answer? Aji, what are things we have discussed so far? Okay, the central government is saying that they are going to stop the free electricity. The state has to stop the free electricity. Instead, they should be given DBT, direct benefit transfer, should be given. And they have said that December 2020 should be the 2020 should be the first, at least one district should be under the scheme. Okay. And power subsidy bills, what is the, okay, they said that, look at this, a state has got 33,000 crore, okay, now struggling. Then, we went from here to here. then groundwater depletion happens. Very huge down. We are using more than used combined by the USA and the China. Okay. Then we are having we have more pump sets only. That is ultimately usage. So that is the thing. Misuse of the scheme people are using. There is no accurate reading of this one. Okay. For example, there's a transformer. Accurate measurements are not taken. Clear. So then comes argument for the free power. Why we should allow this? Proponents of the free power scheme have a couple of valid points in their support. Apart from ensuring food security, right? And free power has ensured the food security. It will allow the farmers to grow. They can take up the water. Free power provides livelihood opportunities to landlord workers. Okay, when the farmers depend on the supplies through the canals, get water almost free of cost. It is but fair that those are not covered by electricity should be given. Now, we already have a canal irrigation. Okay, canal irrigation government is giving for them, they did not pay anything, right? So whoever has having canal irrigation, they should not be given the free electricity. Okay, at least that should be covered, right on. Okay, fair that those not covered by the canal irrigation should be given the free electricity. Please copy down this. Please copy down this. So next week onwards, we should switch on the video. So be ready for that. Arrange your reading place properly. Okay, so free electricity should be given to only those people who are away from the canal irrigation. Canal irrigations, because anyway it is what is coming. So they need no need electricity for irrigation purpose. What is purpose of electricity giving is they can use pump sets and they can take the groundwater for the this one. Though there is a substance in the argument, it is not difficult to arrive at a fair pricing mechanism. Some small and medium farmers and those who are outside the canal supply deserve free power, albeit at the restriction. But there is no justification for continuing the scheme purposefully for other farmers. However, those enjoying free power need to be told that need for judicious use of underground. So this should be said like, see, best way should be free power we are giving, and there should be meter reading, okay, and there should be limit. Okay, like you should only use this much. Unlimited you can use. That and all is wrong. Okay, that's why I said it can be. It has been used for electrifying the elephants. Yesterday we have seen that elephant was given a jackfruit, pineapple, cracker. It happened in Kerala. It's what we can say. Making use of the situation created by the COVID-19, the center is trying to make lasting change in the areas which were measures of long overdue, at least in the area of power sector. Okay. It attempts can yield meaningful results only if there is a change in the mindset of agriculturists and the political parties towards accepting. So people has to accept government. Government is giving a good measure. According to this article, long pending reforms has been carried out in the power sector. Okay, you know, PSUs may be privatized also. Okay. Here, political parties should support it. Already, Medapadi is not supporting, the opposition party in Tamil Nadu is not supporting. Congress has not said anything so far. Okay. But Congress also wants the free electricity should be scrapped. Okay. So, what are the disadvantages of this one? Who can tell me? Farzana, Anamol, Ashwati. Yeah, please use your audio. Summarize it. Yeah, why the free power supply should not be given and why it should be given. It is very good. Okay, one is it is yeah. Tell me, who is this? Rijo.
Yeah, it should be given because it will help the farmers. But opposition party says it is aiming at the bank. Why it shouldn't be given is because it will lead to wastage. And the other is saying that it should be given to only those farmers who are not having canal irrigation because they already have. And he's also suggesting to put a meter so that they can be limit on consumption. Otherwise, it might lead to misuse.
Then groundwater depletion.
Groundwater depletion.
Okay, groundwater is depletion at a higher rate. We are using more than what combined China is also agriculture country. Okay, then US. Okay, combinedly we're using more than that. Okay, Then got see, one more thing is not mentioned in this is soil degradation. Okay. Soil degradation. What happens is when excess of irrigation happens, okay, the water is actually standing. Water is, in the field, water will be standing. Okay, so excess of irrigation. This will create a saline soil. Okay, soil will have a lot of salt. Okay, so that is known as soil degradation because of excess irrigation and poor drainage system. Okay, that is also one of the soil degradation is also because of the free electricity. People don't care about this one. They keep on continuously irrigation with them, and the water is standing or stagnant in the field, and this will percolate down. Okay, and they will bring back salt to the surface like this. Okay, so like this, water will go inside, infiltrate, and they come to the surface, and they'll bring a lot of salts here. So it becomes a saline soil. Okay. This is very big problem in the Punjab regions. Okay, guys. So read this article. Is already uploaded in our portal. Okay. One more article I have to talk about. This is a kind of revision only, you can say, because yesterday we have seen this. Yeah, able to see this. Another debate number 2. Arnab Goswami is 10 o'clock debate. This is 5 o'clock debate. G7 to G11. Okay, right now heading is G7 to G11. Ashwin is there in the class. Okay, G7 to G11. Okay, India deserves its place on the global stage. Okay, but on G11, it must be clear on its aim. Okay, what we want, we should be very clear about it. We should be very clear what we want. But India definitely needs to be in the G7. It should become a G11. Okay, so it's not just India. Okay, some more countries are there. Yesterday I told you one country is left out. Which country is left out? Which country was not invited by US? Okay.
Russia.
Russia. Who is that? Where are you? Come with me. I have a stick. Is it Russia? Anumol, right?
No, India.
Huh?
Please repeat question.
Repeat the question. Question doesn't know she's answering. Question is, which country was not invited by Trump? When he invited India, he invited other countries also, G7, some more countries. That time I told you this seems to be against one particular country. That country is not invited. It is there the editorial itself. China, guys, China. Okay, it's
Okay.
China which was not invited. Okay, so G7 I told you what are countries are there. Yeah, please tell me what are the countries are in G7. Who can tell me? Farzana madam, can you say? Ashwini.
UK.
Yeah, UK.
US.
UK, US. Okay.
France.
Okay.
Russia.
Russia.
No,
Russia was there as a G8. Then Germany.
Yeah.
Japan.
Japan.
And European Union.
And no, not Japan.
Canada.
Whose is that six?
Canada.
Okay,
And
then
European Union.
no, not European Union. I questioned whether this country can be a part of. I said one country is a developed country. Which nation? I question. Actually, I criticized that country. Which country is that? I said this country. I'm saying it should not be here.
Japan.
Italy. So this is a country. Russia was there as part of G8, but that has been removed. Now G8, Russia is not there. But now he is inviting the countries. What are the countries he is inviting? India he is inviting. Right on this. Russia also he is inviting. South Korea is also he is inviting, and Australia is also he is inviting. Okay. Australia also is inviting. Okay. Now you can simply understand this. It is not inviting China. Okay. So these are the things. And thing is, he can invite these people to the meeting. Okay. In fact, already BRICS was invited as a special. All the 5 countries have been invited as a special invitees. Yeah. But this people can attend, Okay, it is going to be expected to be in the November or this one, or it can happen in September also. September, there's an annual United Nations annual meet is there. Okay, I don't know whether it will happen also or not. Okay. So in that, along with that, they can happen. But G7 to become G11, that means formal inclusion of these countries into membership of the G7. For that, other countries should also accept it. Other countries are okay with India, South Korea, and Australia, but not with Russia. Okay, other countries are saying no, I will not allow Russia. Okay, that is a stand. Let us see this editorial. Okay. Okay, please note down. Okay, I have a doubt. You guys, some guys are not noting down, simply listening. Okay, that will not work. Okay. Next week, I'm also thinking that every Wednesday I should bring one revision also. Otherwise, Wednesday I will not teach you anything new. I'll revise it. Because where are we going? Particularly in the editorial, keep on learning. It has to be there with you. Particularly new people, I'm saying. Like, see, I am not taking notes. I'm frankly speaking, I don't take notes. I was not taking notes during my preparation also. Because I had one friend, she was taking good notes, and I used to revise her with her. Okay, and she later became my wife actually. Okay, so that way we had a small understanding. Okay, if you have somebody like that, then okay. Otherwise, you have to take notes, particularly current affairs. You have to take notes. Yeah, come back. G7 in the US later in the year. We don't know when it's going to happen, but September it can be clubbed with the UN General Assembly is what idea I think. News welcome. So write down this. Indian Prime Minister has welcomed this. Okay. Indian Prime Minister Modi said, yes, it's a very good news. Okay, I will come and meet. Okay. He was only looking for that opportunity. Okay. What he officially said is it is creative and far-sighted. Okay. Trump is very creative. He is far-sighted. Decision to expand. Okay. The format of grouping to keep the new realities of the post-COVID world. Australia and South Korea have also welcomed the invitation, but Russia that lost membership in 2004. Okay, 2000 till 2004 they were in the part of G8. Okay, over it annexation of Crimea, they have taken over Crimea. Crimea is a small territory near the Azerbaijan. Okay, and he said if treated equally, I'll come. Okay, notable by the absence of China was not invited, so China started criticizing. Okay, developed by the five. So BRICS. Look at this. Look at this. From here, proposed grouping is China, which had yearly, along with India, Brazil, and Mexico and South Africa, being invited regularly to G8. So China has attended the G7 summit. Okay, as a part of the BRIC. Okay, as a part of the BRIC. Okay, now emerging economies. This word I used yesterday. Anybody remember this? When did I use this word? Emerging economies. I used this word emerging economies yesterday. Anybody having a notes? Please refer and tell me. Nobody knows what is this, yeah. Emerging economies. I told you yesterday when I was I always refer the notes yesterday.
BRICS nations.
I didn't listen. I'm not listening, madam. What is it?
BRICS nations.
BRICS nations. Very good. Very good. Listen, BRICS nation. BRICS nation. That is what they are referring. So the BRICS, BRICS nations are known as emerging economies. Okay. So they attended the G7 meeting regularly. Okay. US-China tensions, particularly over coronavirus issues, clearly played a part of administration to leave this China. Okay, summit. White House spokesman have even explained the G11 would be a way for the US to bring together traditional allies to talk about how to deal with the future of China. Okay, this is so basically a kind of alliance being created. Okay, major dream. I told you this one P5 is there, no, permanent 5 in the China is there. Okay. So that is different. Now people are creating alliance against the China. Understood? Okay. So that is the thing. So predictably, Beijing, that means China, has lashed out the G11 as one doomed to fail. Okay. So they are criticizing this kind of alliance again. The proposed G11 grouping would recognize India's most place amongst the world's richest nation and acknowledges global voice. However, the government must weigh the benefits proposed along with some of the factors that are still unclear. As a host, Mr. Trump can invite any country to G7 special invite. I told you they can invite, but to become the member of this one, they should need the support of other countries also. Okay, it is unclear when the summit will actually be held. Given November polls in US, Trump is thinking about mixing this with the UN General Assembly. which is going to happen in September. Okay. Despite all border tensions with Beijing, India must also consider its objective in attending the grouping that appears aimed at fueling a new Cold War. This also we have seen yesterday, right? New Cold War between whom? Between US and China. Finally, the evaluation of G7's effectiveness as a multilateral forum, thus far is needed. Okay. And given deep member differences on issues including climate change, security contributions, Iran. So there are a lot of differences within the grouping. Like for example, the climate change group, okay, US is being criticized. US is not taking part in the climate change agreement. Then Iran issue, there is a differences there. France, last year, the grouping was unable to issue that in France. Okay, last time what happened, in 45 years history, they were not able to issue a joint communique, joint press release which they give, that was not able to be given because of the differences within the country, like within the organization. So there is a small differences within the organization also. Okay. Now, what will help India means India will be part of those rich nations. Okay, from there they can invest in India like this, we can do. Okay, guys. So small editorial to have seen two. One more editorial is there. If you want, you can try that. Yeah. But these two are very important things. Okay. Yeah. Any doubts? Anything you have got? Okay. We know what is G7 countries. We know what are countries being invited. Okay. Why they are being invited? To make a forum against the China. Okay. Russia has its own reservation. They're saying if you are treating me equal, then I'll come. Okay. It was till 2014. It was a part of the G8, but it was removed because of annexation of Crimea. Okay. Then. When is going to happen? It will happen in November or September. Okay. There is a huge difference between the G7 countries on the climate change, security, contribution, Iran issues. Okay. And last year they did not release the press conference itself. For the first time in 45 years, there was no joint press conference for these people. Okay, guys. So small editorial too. It's easy. Go and read this. And Power Bill also you can work this. Okay. Now we go to our economy part. Yeah, yesterday what did you study in economy? Yeah, Farzana.
Money in banking, sir, in fiscal policy. We stopped it at functions and the role of central bank.
Madam, you didn't understand the editorial. I'm seeing in this one.
No. I missed the first heading. The rest I understood. I wanted to know what he has written.
Yeah, we were discussing two editors. One is about.
Then when teacher said it, I got it.
Yeah. Okay, so money, we talked about money, the supply of money, and the monetary authority. Who is a monetary authority? Central bank is a monetary authority. Write down this. The Central Bank was created in 1935. Okay, what are the roles they have got? The roles are they issue currency. Write down. They issue currency. They control the money supply within the country. They control the money supply within the country. How they control the money supply within the country? With the usage of these other tools: bank rate, open market operation, okay, and variations in the reserve ratio. We'll talk about this again. So three more than this are there, but just giving some example. Bank rate is one instrument. Bank rate is one instrument. Okay. Open market operation, another instrument. Then reserve ratio is another instrument. Okay. It is a custodian of foreign exchange reserve. Write down. It is a custodian of foreign exchange reserve. It is a custodian of foreign exchange reserve. Then it acts as a bank, okay, to the banking system. All the bank means whatever the banks have a problem. Okay, ICICI, SBI, they don't have bank. Then they don't have cash. Then they can buy. They can take it from the RBI. That is what a banker. Then it is also banker to the government. It is also banker to the government. This is one question comes in the object type of question. What is the question? They issue currency, that is one. Okay. They control the money supply through the bank rate, open market option, and this ratio. Then they are banker to the government. Okay. Then they are custodian of the foreign exchange reserve. Okay. That means how much foreign currency is coming, it ultimately is go to the RBI only. For example, you have done with any exchange, Western Union, or you go to any bank and you exchange it. You are coming from Dubai, you have drums with you. Which is collected, it ultimately goes to the RBI. Okay. So the custodian of the foreign exchange reserve is RBI. Okay. Then their banker to the banks also, okay, which is discussed in later day. We will discuss that. Okay. Then they create money from we need to focus on functions of issuing currency. This currency issued by central bank can be held by the public. We can have for ourselves, and the commercial banks also have this. The commercial bank also has, and that is what is known as high powered money. High powered money. It's also known as reserve money. It's also known as monetary base. It's also known as monetary base. Okay. So this is what you have to understand from this paragraph. Clear? Now let us go to the commercial bank. Okay. Commercial banks are those banks which operate for the commercial activity. What is commercial activity? Okay, they give loan. Okay, they collect the interest. Okay. That is what they are the part of the write down. Commercial banks are part of money creating system in the economy. Okay, they are part of money creating system in the economy. Okay, part of money creating system in the economy. It is in the following. They accept deposits from the public. Which I think we talked about this. Financial intermediaries. Anybody remember that? Who can tell me what is financial intermediaries? Financial intermediaries.
Banks.
What?
Public sector.
Any bank is okay, but why they are known as financial intermediaries? Why they are financial intermediaries? No idea. Anybody? Okay. Thing is, see, you guys have whatever I'm teaching. After that, you have to read for 1 hour at least. You want to revise those things. I think after the class, you're directly coming to the next class. Am I right? Am I right or not? Tell me. Anybody want to counter me? I'm saying that you guys are not reading after my class. Once my class is over, you become a normal human being. Okay, you don't feel as an aspirant. Then you come for the next class without revising anything. Okay, so everybody accepts it, right? Fine, but that is not the way you have to go. We have to revise it and then you come. Okay, look at this. They accept deposits. Okay, financial intermediaries means the bank acts as an intermediate between the depositor and the lender. Okay, so a lot of people will be when we talk about financial inclusion, I told you, a lot of people will deposit the money into the bank. Okay, and bank will give to the person who can invest in. So it will be given as a loan. Okay, so they accept deposit at one end from many people and give loan to select people, not to everybody. Okay. So they accept deposit from the public. Okay, and lend out part of this, not entire money, part of this funds to those who wants the borrow. That is the loan. The interest rate paid by the bank to the depositor is lower than the rate charged from the borrowers. Okay. So here they'll be giving around 6% interest to the depositor. If you're depositing in the saving bank, you might have seen the end of the month or end of the financial year get some interest to it. Okay. That is at the range of 6% or maybe lower than that. But when you go for taking loan or they have one loan, okay, home loan starts from 10%, personal loan from 14%. Okay. So that is what it is. So write down here the interest rate is the difference between the interest rate is known as spread. Okay, spread, which is a profit for the banks. It's a profit for the banks. Okay, which is a profit for the banks. Clear, guys? Okay, so that means they're collecting the money and they're giving to the person who is wanting the loan. Okay, when you're collecting the money for them, also you're giving interest, but there's a very small amount in small percentage. But when you are giving to as a loan from them, you are charging huge. Okay, the process of deposit and loan credit in this is mentioned below. Okay, yeah, you want to listen to this story? Did anybody read the story? Okay, I didn't read. Let me see. Okay. It's explaining the banking system. Okay. Once there was a goldsmith named Lala in the village. In this village, people used to gold and other precious metal in order to buy goods and services. Okay. So people are using gold to buy the services. Okay. In this village. Okay. So I think it's just a fictional story. In other words, these metals were acting as a money. Okay. Just listen. Okay. In other words, my gold was acting as a money. People in the village started keeping their gold with Lala for safekeeping. For safekeeping. In return for keeping their gold, Lala issued paper receipts to the people of the village and charged a small fee from them. Slowly over the time, the paper issued by Lala began to be circulated as a money. This means that instead of giving gold for purchasing wheat, someone would pay the wheat with the receipts issued by the Lala. Okay. Thus, the paper receipts started acting as a money since everyone in the village accepted this as a medium of exchange. Okay. Now, but this particular story is like, remember, yesterday we discussed like why we should accept a paper. Okay, the 500 rupees is just a paper, right? Why I should accept it? That time I told you that it is RBI is authorizing it. Government of India is authorizing it. Okay, they are saying that yes, it is a 500 only. You believe me? I will give you worth of this and this that and all is written. No. Similarly, in this story, what happens is this is actually true. This is how the current system evolved. For the RBI is saying that for equal this amount of currency they are supplying, they are having equal reserve of gold. Gold reserve was a basis. Now they have removed that also. Okay, gold as a basis for issuing this. That means this much of currency is there, this much of gold we are having. That's what they were saying. Okay, but that is removed. So in this story, what is this? Look at how the currency is coming into the picture. People originally were using the gold only by purchasing goods and services. And some of the gold they started keeping with the goldsmith as a safekeeping only. When he issues the receipts that this much of gold is with me, they started using that as a currency. Okay, it was accepted by anybody because this gold backing is there. Okay, when you go to the Lala and say that this is a receipt, then they'll get a loan. They'll get the gold itself. So this is what the ultimately the fiat currencies concept. Clear, guys? Yes or no? Fine. Next concept, the further look at this, how the lending works from the same Lala story. Let us suppose that Lala had 100 kg of gold deposited by different people and he had issued receipts corresponding to 100 kg of gold. At this time, Ramu comes to Lala and asks for a loan of 25 kg of gold. Can Lala give the loan? The 100 kg of gold with him already has climbed. It is not his gold. It is a gold deposited by the people. And one person is coming and saying that give me a 25 kg of gold. Okay. However, Lala could decide that everyone with the gold deposit will not come in the same time. That is what the banking is. Again, look at this. All the people will not come in the same time. Okay, have you heard about this word bank run? What is bank run? Please participate here, otherwise nothing will happen. Ashwin madam, what happened to you? Danya Sri, what do you mean by bank run? Karthi.
Sir, a huge number of people withdraw from bank at the same time.
Yes, madam. Now, have you seen this Yes Bank? When the people said Yes Bank is almost collapsed, and people started queuing and they started taking the money from the ATM. Okay. By the time COVID happened, and then people were restricted in the home. Okay. But otherwise, there should have been a bank run in the Yes Bank. Long back in ICICI, I think in 2008, there was a bank run. People are taking simultaneously. All the people want their money almost in the same time. That is known as bank run. If this bank run comes, then bank will collapse. Okay. Now look at this Lala's case. Okay. Lala's case, what I'm saying that he has 100 kg deposit, but this is not his money. It is a money of the people. Okay. And some Ramu is coming and asking 25 kg of gold. Okay. And what he's thinking goes. Okay. Look at this. Lala has decided that everyone with gold deposit will not come to withdraw their deposit at the same time. Okay. So he may as well give the loan to Ramu and charge him for him. So 25 kg loan he's giving, and he's saying that you have to pay me some interest also. Okay. That is possible. That is what the banking system. Everybody is depositing with the bank, but you are not going and asking the money on the same time. Everybody coming and asking the money same time, then bank will collapse. That will not happen. That is not happening. Okay. These are the things in which the banks are running. Okay. Now, if the Lala gives 25 kg of gold, Ramu can also pay Ali with 25 kg of gold. Who is Ali? And Ali could keep 25 kg of gold with Lala in the return of the paper receipts. If Lala is given 25 kg, gives the okay. Okay, this story is like this. Okay, Lala is a person who is a safekeeper. Okay, from him, Ramu has collected 25 kg of gold. This 25 kg of gold is given to the Ali. Okay, Ali is keeping this 25 kg to him. Okay, this is a story. Okay, and he is also getting a receipt. Okay, he is also getting a receipt because he has deposited the money. Okay, now how much total currency is in circulation? Already he has issued 100 kg receipts, right? Okay, now he is giving 25 kg receipts also. Okay, so how much total kg of gold he has got? Tell me. First, initially he had 100 kg of gold and he has given a receipt for it. Okay, now 125 kg is coming from Ali. Okay, and for this also he is giving receipt. Now the question is two questions. One is how much actual gold is there with the Lala. Second one is how much currency is in circulation. How much worth of currency in circulation. Alright, come on, I'm going. People will not answer.
25 kg is in circulation.
How much, madam? 25?
Is in circulation.
Only 25 kg, yeah.
Because he got whatever Ramu's taken. Okay. Lala got it back from Ali, right?
Okay, go ahead.
I don't know. I'm very bad in economics.
Nobody is good in economics, madam. Otherwise, everybody will be very rich.
No, actually, maths. I can't say economics. I'm bad in maths.
Maths, huh? Okay. But story, this is a story actually. This is a story. You should have listened to the story. Dania, madam. Valaplagan theriyuma? Karagata. Okay. Now I am saying the truth, but you should accept it. That is why I was asking you. Now I am saying that 125 kg worth of receipt is in currency is in circulation. That means the currency which is in the circulation is 125 kg of gold. Do you guys accept it? No? Okay. But how much gold actually he has got? He has got only 100 kg of gold. Okay. But he has issued 25 kg receipts additionally. Okay. How it happened? Because this 25 kg, there's a loan given to this one. So after this, he has got only 75 kg. Am I right? All of you there? Yes or no? If you understand this, then you can understand the banking system properly. So originally, Lala had 100 kg. But with the deposit from all the people. Okay. In this, he has given 25 kg loan to the Ramu. Okay. Now this becomes 75 kg. Okay. This 25 kg taken by Ramu is given to Ali for his loan. He has taken some money from the Ali. So Ali has got 25 kg now. This 25 kg now Ali is depositing with the Lala again. So he again gets a 100 kg. But for deposit, he is getting a receipt from the Lala, okay, for 25 kg. Already in the circulation, this 100 kg in the receipt we are already having. Now another 25 kg in receipt also we are getting it. So total of 125 kg worth of receipt is in circulation as a currency. Okay, but actually how much he has got? He has got only 100 kg in his hand. Okay, forget if you're not understanding what this says, we'll see. Okay, but anyway, this is the okay. Now look at this. If Lala gives loan 25 kg of gold, Ramu could also pay Ali, okay, with this 25 kg of gold, and Ali could keep this 25 kg of gold with the Lala in the return of receipt paper. In effect, the paper receipts acting as money would. Okay. Sir, sir, sir. What are you, sir? You are confusing us. Okay, look at this. This is what I want to tell you. Okay, what is this? Now read collectively from here. Okay, the paper receipts acting as a money would have risen to 125 kg now, because already he has issued 100 kgs receipt. Now he is issuing another 25 kgs receipt also. So a total 125 kg receipts or currency is in circulation, whereas only 100 kg is having. Okay, this is what is known as money creation. No matter, leave it. Okay, you will learn this, don't worry. It seems that Lala has created money out of a thin air. Okay, the modern banking system works precisely the same. Lala behaves in this example. Okay, you want another explanation? Understood, guys? Yeah, anybody please tell me you, sir, no, sir, I did not understand. Please, sir, please explain me again. Anyone? Understood. Almost everybody understood. See, don't be shy in asking the doubts. If the moment you're asking doubt, you're growing. Keep that in mind. Okay. Simply what others will think, what these people will think. Okay, she understand. I will not improve. Fine, come back. Commercial banks mediate between individuals and this firm with the excess fund and lend to this. This we have seen this fund. They get from the deposit from the other people and they give to the some other people. People with the excess fund can keep their funds in the form of deposit in the bank, and those who need funds borrow fund from them in the borrow fund in form of home loans, crop loans, and so on. They're getting from this. People prefer to keep money in the bank because why people prefer to keep money in the banks? Tell me. First one is interest rate, but people don't keep it for interest rate. Okay. Or we can say now the system is such that our salary comes in the bank itself, so we don't go and take all the money and come to home. Okay. One of the primary thing we keep is here is if I take cash in my hand, I'll start spending it. Let it be there. That is one of the common thing. Okay. Interest, we are never bothered about interest. Like I keep money in the maybe fixed deposit, but as a saving bank, okay, we are not concerned about the interest. Okay, it's a 6%, even 4%. We never thought it's a big money. Okay. But of course, you have separate fixed deposit. Have anybody heard about fixed deposit or recurring deposit and all? You create that for the interest only, for income only, for investment. Okay. So in this book, they are saying that interest is one of the reasons you deposit with the bank. Then safekeeping. If you keep in your Almirah, then it can be stolen by somebody. So keeping in this one, that is another thing. Now, third is very important. That is what I liked it very much. Is the checks are available, debit cards are available, e-wallets are available. No, because of this, what happens? It's a convenient of transaction. Right now, right on, guys. Right on, guys. Okay, Dani is not in the class. Okay, Vishma is there. Okay. Yeah, what are the three things? Reason why we have why we keep the money with the bank is one is a safety. Okay, it is providing. Okay, then it is providing interest. Then it is providing ease of transaction. For example, I want to recharge my mobile, I want to recharge my TV, or whatever I want to do, I can do if I have a debit card. Okay, check. Now checks are not much used. E-wallet, GPay, Google Pay, all this. So convenience of transaction is also important. Okay, clear, guys? Okay. Now, what the banks will do with the deposit, assuming that everyone who have deposited the funds with it will not ask their fund back at the same time. The bank can loan these funds to someone who needs the fund at the interest. Of course, it will be higher than this one. So, bank will typically retain a portion of the fund to repay them. Now, this is so in the Lala's case, you have seen that 100 kg was there. but he has given only 25 kg as a loan, right? He has not given the entire 100 kg. Okay, that is not correct. If you give and somebody is coming and asking that some of the gold, and he says, I don't have now, wait for 1 month, what will happen? Then people will not have faith with Lala. Then everybody will take away the money. Okay. So here, write down the entire money they will not give as a loan. They will not give the entire money as a loan. Rather, they'll give some portion of it and some portion they'll keep it as a reserve. Some portion they'll keep it as a reserve. Look at this. Retain a portion of the funds to repay the deposit whenever they demand. Whenever they demand, they have to repay to them, right? So that is there. Okay. And the rest is given as a loan. Since the bank earn interest from the loans they make, any bank would like to lend maximum as possible. However, being able to repay deposits on demand is crucial to the bank's survival. Depositor would keep their fund in their bank only if they are fully confident of getting them back on demand. A bank must therefore balance in lending activities so that ensure that sufficient funds are available to repay any depositors on. Okay. So you will be tempted if you are a bank, like you know that you are, what is your business? Your business is you have to give more loan. That is why you might have a lot of calls coming. Sorry, you want loan, you want credit card, because that is the revenue generation for the bank. So they have to give more and more loan. Okay. But they cannot give all the money into the loan because somebody is coming and asking their money and you find that you are not able to give to them. The word of mouth goes out. That's it. Okay, your bankrupt happens. Okay. So how it is important to give maximum loan, it is also important to keep certain money as a deposit so that these people who are asking their money can be given to them. Clear, guys?
So that
Yes or no?
deposit money which is kept in the bank is called something. Is there any name for that?
Deposit?
The money which is kept so that they can give it to the lenders, like whoever asks in demand. It's called something. Is it
Reserve? We can say reserve, but that reserve is also not used here. You can say it is a reserve, but I'll come to it. I'll come to it. There's no CRR is there, SLR is there, but that is not used for lending. We have to keep other than that. I'll come to it. I'll come to it.
Okay.
So this is clear. No, the banks will not give the entire money to the loan, but they may be tempted to give more loan, but they have to be responsible to the depositor. Somebody is asking the money, they have to give it. Okay, clear. Okay, money creation by the banking system. Okay. Write down this is very small in concept. Write down balance sheet. The concept of balance sheet is how much assets you got and how much liability you got. How much assets and how much liability you got. Assets and liabilities. Assets means what? What is asset? Asset is something which is able to sell. You are able to sell in future. It will give you some extra income, more income than how much you spent for creating it. Okay, land, stock, gold, all these are assets. What is liability? People are thinking somebody will answer. Tell me what.
Is the loan?
Liabilities are for us. Loan we have taken is a liability.
Yeah.
If we take a loan from the bank, then it is liability for us. But what is the loan for those banks? Is it liability or asset?
Asset. For the bank, it is asset.
For the bank, it is asset. Very good. Okay. Liabilities are something we have to pay back. Okay. So whatever deposits the bank has got, all these deposits are liability for the bank. I'm not confusing you. All the deposit which the bank has accepted is a liability for the bank. And whatever loan they have given out, it is a asset for the bank. Okay. If you don't understand, you might have heard about the word NPA. Have you heard about the word NPA? Non-performing asset. Okay, what is that asset? Non-performing asset they're talking about? Someone has got a serious problem in their network. Okay. What do you mean by asset here? A non-performing asset is the bad loan. The loan which is given to Vijay Mallya. Vijay Mallya is coming here. He's coming back, and he's coming back to be in jail. This time in jail. Okay, every time he is in IPL balcony, now he is in jail. Okay, so this NPA is actually A stands for asset, non-performing asset, bad loan. People are not able to pay back their loans. Those loans are treated to be the bad loans. They are not. So loan is an asset for the bank. Deposits is a liability for the bank. Clear? Is that clear? Okay. Now comes Now comes when the bank gives out a loan of rupees 100 to a person. This is the bank's claim on that person for rupees 100. Another asset that the bank is a reserve. Okay, apart from this reserves are deposit which commercial bank keep with the central bank. Just write down one liner here. It is not completely true, but still write down. Reserves are the deposit which commercial banks keep with the central bank. Okay, that is the thing. The reserves are kept partially as cash and partially as in the form of financial instruments. Financial instruments, you can sell it. Bond is there. Treasury bills are there. Treasury bills means government bonds issued by the RBI. Reserves are the similar to deposit we keep with the banks. We keep deposit and the deposits are our assets. They can be withdrawn by us. Similarly, commercial banks like State Bank keep their deposit with the RBI and they are called reserves that can be taken only small portion again. Okay. So what I'm trying to say is the bank has got certain things as liability, certain things as assets. Okay. Assets are which they can fall upon when there is a when they want. It is creating some kind of revenue for them in the future. Liabilities. Okay. Now look at this. I have said assets are equal to reserve plus loan. Whatever they have reserves kept in the RBI, that is also part of the assets. And whatever the deposits they have got from the people, those are the liabilities. Clear, guys? Yes or no? Okay. Okay, net worth, how much profit they have got or net worth they got, asset minus liabilities. That is also concept. This balance sheet you don't trade, you will get more confused. You go for money multiplier, limits to the credit creation and the money multiplier. Okay. Now, how much money can be multiplied by the bank? That means I told you, Lala with only 100 rupees, he has created 125 rupees, isn't it? Only 100 kg of worth was the loan gold he had, but he had issued currencies up to 25% extra he has issued. So how much we can create this money like this depends upon the RBI. Okay, write down RBI stops this over lending. We cannot do a over lending. It's that it has got its own limit. Okay. Okay. What they do, the legal requirements on binding on the loans, they are known as reserve. Now write down required reserve ratio, or it is known as reserve ratio, or it is known as CRR, cash reserve ratio. All are same. I know. Required reserve ratio or reserve ratio or this one. So this is a limit. This is a mandatory thing which the banks have to keep, that also set aside. Okay, they cannot use it for lending purpose. Okay. But there's a limit to the money or the credit creation by the banks. Yes, this is
reserve ratio.
Hmm?
Reserve ratio, can you just repeat it once again?
Yeah, I'm just giving the name. I didn't explain it to it. These are the certain reserves they have to keep aside. Okay, they cannot use it for lending. They cannot use it. This money cannot be used for lending purpose. Okay, and I'll come to it later. Let's look at this. The RBI is there a limit for their lending purpose? They're saying this is determined by the central bank, and that is RBI. RBI decides a certain percentage. Underline certain percentage of deposit which every bank must keep as reserve. That means this cannot be used for lending. The reserves cannot be used for lending. Certain deposit you have to keep as a reserve. This reserve cannot be used as a lending. Okay, you have to keep. You cannot give this for a loan. Okay. Okay. This is done to ensure that no bank is over lending. This is a legal requirement. It's a binding on the banks. Bank have to follow the RBI guidelines. These are known by the name reserve required ratio, reserve ratio, or cash reserve ratio. Okay, we'll go deeper into this. But as if now you understand, if the bank is getting 1,000 rupees, they cannot give all the 1,000 rupees for the loans. Okay, they will not normally give, because somebody has deposited 10 rupees and he's asking, give me 10 rupees. I have some urgency. And they say, no, I have given it as a loan. Please wait. Somebody will come and pay. Then I'll give you. That's it, collapse of the banking system. So banks will definitely have some on their own itself. I have to respect the deposit. I have to honor the deposit. They'll not give. In addition to that, the RBI is saying, no, you have to keep at least 4%. The CRR is normally 4%. Now it has got reduced, I think. Okay. So this percentage you have to keep it with you. You cannot give everything. Okay. So those reserves which the RBI is mandating them is known as required reserve ratio. Required reserve ratio or reserve ratio or cash reserve ratio. Is that clear, guys? We'll go deeper into this, but as if now you understand that RBI is mandating the commercial banks, you have to keep certain amount separately. That amount you cannot give to the loan purpose. Is that clear? Today is not raining much. This Mumbai escaped from this year. I told you, no, it will not hit Mumbai. It will go to Gujarat. Okay. These are the things. When you understand geography, then you can also predict again. Then you can say you are a magician. Okay, now coming to CRR. CRR is equal to percentage of deposit which the bank must keep as a cash reserve with the bank. Okay, CRR, hide down heading. It is a percentage determined by the RBI time to time. Okay, I think it is presently it is less than 4%. Please somebody confirm that. How much is that? Because they have reduced it. Okay, they have reduced it. A percentage of the deposit which the bank must keep as cash reserve with the bank. Okay. It has to be only in the cash. Write down. CRR can only be in the cash, pure cash. Okay. Cash reserve ratio can be only in the cash. This is deposit with the RBI. RBI will not give any interest for this. Write down this. Write down this. Cash reserve ratio. Cash reserve ratio. Cash reserve ratio. This is a ratio which is mandated by the RBI. Okay, to keep as a reserve, which is not used for lending. It is around 4%. Okay, and it has to be only in the cash. Okay, you cannot have something as in the form of gold or government securities. Not no. You have to have it only as a cash. Clear. Apart from the CRR, bank also required to keep some reserves in the form of in the liquid form in short term. Liquid form in short term means immediately you can convert into cash. Can you give me an example? Cash is cash, but something immediately you can transfer to cash, convert into cash. Oh, green, convert into cash. Boom, it becomes cash. What is that? No idea.
Gold.
No idea. Huh? Have you not seen Mohanlal coming and saying dun 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 dun? He will say within 2 minutes. Somebody saying, who is that?
Aji.
Aji, tell me, Aji. Aji, what happened? 2-3 questions you need not answer. How are you?
Good, sir.
Okay. I was thinking that I'm getting at 4 o'clock is very early. I very hardly get up. You get up at 2:30. Okay, I'm getting inspired by you. Okay, office is started normal now.
It's not normal. It's again stopped because yesterday. I'm in Saudi right now.
Oh, okay. You are in Dubai. From there you went to Saudi Arabia. No.
Yeah, I'm in on-site.
Okay. Saudi Arabia kingdom, right?
Yesterday Saudi reported 30 death. It's a record.
33 death.
30, yeah.
Okay. I told you that my place is one of Tevara. Okay. In my street, one lady, she's a pilot in Air India. She was asked to be in quarantine. Look at this, how people behave irresponsible. Okay. She was asked to be in quarantine for 14 days because she was a part of that Vande Bharat, this one, that people bringing. She started roaming around. Okay. She went to all the shop where I normally go. But I went only once. I normally go once in a week only. There's a Lens Fresh shop is there. She went there, lot of places. Now she's positive. Then now entire Tevra, all the roads connecting to Tevra is connected, stopped. Nobody can enter. We are in jail. Okay. But anyway, this will not go in immediately. I don't know. Vaccine is getting conducted. The new normal. The students are attending my online classes, schools, colleges. Yes. Yeah. Well, I forgot the question. What is the question I asked? What is that? You were saying gold. Very good, Ajay. So in liquid form, in short term, immediately you can convert into. That is why gold. Okay, gold is Mohanlal has got two responsibility. Okay, he will go to Malabar, right? Malabar gold or Bima gold. Somewhere he will go and he will say that buy gold from here, buy gold from here. Then he'll go to Manappuram, keep the gold here, keep the gold here. Look at this, how he is cyclically working. So he's a brand ambassador for, right, Malabar Gold. Is there Malabar Gold is there, no? Okay, like this Manappuram he'll go. Okay. So buy gold from here and keep it here. Okay. Very simple as it is. Okay. Now, liquid form in short term is gold is the best example. So this ratio is known as statutory liquidity ratio. So apart from CRR, so in addition to CRR, right on that, in addition to the CRR can be only in the cash, but SLR can be cash plus gold. One more government securities, GSEC, government securities. That means which can be converted into liquid form quickly. Okay, am I confusing, guys? Okay. Initially, I said that banks are collecting the deposit from the people and they are acting as a financial intermediaries. Anybody want the loan, they'll get the loan from the bank. Bank will give the loan, but bank will not give all the money in the form of loan. They have to keep some money because somebody is coming and asking their money. The bank has to give. Now, how much they'll keep? Normally, they'll keep lot according to their need. But RBI, as a regulator of the bank, they said you have to keep something called CRR, cash reserve ratio. It has to be only in the cash. Okay. Then they are saying you have to keep something called SLR in addition to the cash reserve ratio. SLR cash reserve ratio difference is it has to be only in the cash. This can be in the form of gold, government securities, or it can be in the form of cash also. Okay, this is around 4% and this is around 19%. Okay, this will vary. Okay, understood, guys? Till here, you guys are in the class. Understood? Any doubt here? Vismaya, Manslamundo. Okay, they're giving an example. Okay, in our fictional example, suppose CRR is equal to 20%. Actually, it is 4%, 20%. And then with the deposits of rupees 100, our bank will need to keep rupees 20. Okay, of the 20% of the cash reserve. Only the remaining amount of the deposit, okay, 80 rupees. Okay, can be used for giving the loans. This statutory recommends of reserve ratio acts as a limit to the amount of the credit that banks can create. Okay, we can understand by this going back to the fictional bank. Let us assume that our bank starts with a deposit of rupees 100 made by Leela. The reserve is 20. Okay, you want to read this story? Okay. Yeah, in this paragraph you understood. This paragraph. Okay, this paragraph. What they are saying is actually they're saying that if the CRR is 20%. Okay, and the bank got a deposit of 100 rupees, 20% you have to. Okay. For 20 percentage, that means for 100 rupees, 20 rupees you have to set aside. That it cannot be used for. Okay, that is the first paragraph. Second paragraph, they are going little more advanced. Look at this. Let us assume our bank starts with a deposit of rupees 100 made by the Leela. The reserve deposit is 20%. Okay, so they'll have only 80% for lending purpose. 20 rupees they will not they'll not able to give it. Okay. Okay, to lend the bank, and bank lends 80 rupees to Jaspal Kaur. Okay, Jaspal Kaur, which shows up the bank deposit in the next round as liabilities, making that a total of rupees 180 as the deposit. One second. It shows up the bank's deposit next one is making the total of 180 as deposits. Now a bank is required to have 20% of 180. This I will not read it. I'll come to it later. Okay. But you understood CRR, SLR, right? CRR, SLR. Okay, how much is there? Yeah. Come here. Policy tools to control the money supply. Write down heading. Okay, what are tools available with the RBI to control the money supply? Reserve Bank is the only institution which can issue currency. There is no doubt about it. Only Reserve Bank can issue currency. Okay. Commercial bank needs more funds in order to be able to create more credit. They may go to the market for such funds and go to the central government. Okay. So Reserve Bank has got unlimited reserve. They can print the little. They can print the notes. They can give. Okay. What about the commercial bank? Commercial has got two options. Commercial banks have got two options. One is they can go to the RBI, they want fund, or they can go to the public, that is people for a fund. Okay. So that's what they're saying. Look at this. Banks need more fund in order to be able to create more credit. They may go to the market. Market means public, okay, or they go to the central bank. Central bank provides them funds through various instruments, various methods. Instruments mean various methods. They have got a lot of methods of doing it. This role of RBI that is being ready to lend to the banks at all times is another important function of the central bank, and due to this the central bank is known as lender of last resort. Okay, the RBI will never allow the banks to fall. RBI will never allow banks to fall, because if the bank is falling, the financial system is getting falling. So what they will do, for example, in the case of Yes Bank, we have seen they came out, they rescued this, they gave this to the ISBI, then other banks came up. So the lender of last resort, the banks lost all the option to get the money. Okay, they want to give to the depositor somebody, and you don't have money, then always you can go to the RBI. Okay, write down RBI is a lender of last resort. RBI is a lender of last resort. The RBI controls money supply in the economy in various forms. The tools used by central bank interventions are by the quantitative and qualitative. So two types of method they are using. One is quantitative method, the other one is qualitative. Okay, quality and quantity. That means it is amount. You meant you have to give 4%, 5%. That is a quantitative. Qualitative means KYC norms. Okay, like this qualitative. Okay. Now write on this. RBI can use two methods. One is qualitative, the other is quantitative. Quantitative tools control the extent of money supply by changing the CRR, bank rate, open market operations. Okay, write down this. Already written, I think. CRR, bank rate, and open market are quantitative restrictions. Qualitative restrictions is a persuasion, okay, by the central bank in order to make commercial bank discourage or encourage lending, which is done through moral suasion, margin requirement, etc. Okay. That means they will give guidelines. Okay, for example, limit your exposure to this one kind of one advertisement they'll issue, or they'll issue some circular, okay, saying that you have to follow certain norms, rules. Okay, those are known as persuasions and the moral suasion. Okay, that I'll explain. Don't worry. Okay, so I'm saying that there are banks need money if they have not got money from any sources, and there's only one source, that is the RBI. Is a last lender, last person to help you out is the RBI. Then RBI uses methods to control the supply of money that can be in the form of quantitative or in the form of qualitative. Quantitative example CRR, SLR, and open market operation. All these are quantitative restriction. Qualitative is a persuasion, like some kind of guidance they are saying, like don't do this. Okay, get the KYC, link the PAN card with the others. This kind of things they are saying to the bank. Those are known as qualitative restriction. Clear, guys? Clear, guys? Clear, guys?
No, sir. Qualitative is not.
Qualitative is not done. Okay, ma'am. Okay, I'll tell you. Okay, now you have a child. Okay, for the child, you are saying that you have to complete 5 lessons. Okay, this is a quantity. Okay, 5 lessons you have to do. This is a quantity. Quality. Okay, you have to brush your teeth. You have to brush your teeth properly. Okay, you have to do exercise. Okay, these things are qualitative. There's no any kind of measurement. Okay, just it is done or not. Okay, but this is 5 lessons you have to do. Okay, you have to eat 5 vegetables. Okay, you have to drink 1 liter of water. These are quantity in terms of number. Okay, but these are aesthetic conditions. Okay, brushing or this one. Just I'm saying. Likewise for the bank. CRR is a 4%. And for example, when moral suasion will leave that words that may be confusing for you, but I'm using the word KYC. Okay. Okay. The people who are to whom you are lending or from whom you are taking the deposit, they should have a know your customer. That means they should have a PAN card, they should have an Aadhaar card. These are known as qualitative restrictions, qualitative measures. Okay, don't worry, I'll bring it again also. So these are not quantified, but these are, for example, that's the best thing to explain the KYC norms. Is that understood, madam? You are there? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. We'll come to it. Okay. Now it should be evident by now that the central bank changes the reserve ratio, which would lend the means by the banks intended and would impact the deposit, hence the money supply. This previously discussed that example, the money multiplier, the RBI increases the reserve by 25%. Notice that the previous, I'll leave it. Okay. Now come to this one. Okay, write down heading called open market operation. Open market. We know what is CRR. We know what is SLR. Now we are going for open market operation. Is that clear? CRR, SLR, and open market operation. Okay, what is open market operation? Okay, open market operation. This is the thing. This we have discussed in a lot of questions also. Buying and selling of bond issued by the government by the RBI. Okay, who will do this? RBI will buy it or they will sell it. They will buy it or they will sell it. What they will sell? Government securities, government issued bond. This purchase and sale is entrusted with central bank on behalf of the government. When the RBI buys a government bond in the open market, it pays for it by giving a check. This check increases the amount of the reserve in the economy and thus increases the money supply. Selling of bond by the RBI to private individual institutions reduces the reduction of quantity, leads to reduction in the quantity. Very simple. Okay. Now there is a government bond, Mudra Patram. Okay. Okay, that means 100 rupees or 1000 rupees. There's a bond is there. This bond is a paper currency. It is basically it is particularly if it is issued by the government. Anybody can issue. Reliance also issues corporate bonds and all. So when it is issued by the government, it is a sovereign bond. It is guaranteed by the government of India. Definitely you'll get the money. Okay. So government securities is an instrument of the investment. So RBI has a lot of this. Okay. So what they can do, they can sell it. Okay. When this is sold to the market, okay, what RBI is getting in return is cash. Am I right? When the RBI sell the government securities in the economy on the market, what the RBI will get is the cash. That means the money circulation in the market has reduced or increased. You know, sir, early morning you are torturing us, sir. How many of you saying that? Raise your hand. See, early morning reading and studying is actually a thrill. It's actually enjoying. You get immense of energy in the morning time. Again, no disturbances. Again, because children, they are sleeping. Look at my son is not disturbing. He's sleeping. And no disturbances from the office, nothing. Okay. And your mind is very bright to accommodate any kind of complex information. So keep that in mind. It's easy to learn. Now I'm asking when the bond is, so what is open market operation? Dania, you're there in the class, madam. Please switch on the video. Yes. Wow. Tell me, madam. What is the open market operation? You are BCom, right? What is your graduation? Hello? I am not hearing it. Your mic has some problem. Okay, tell me what happens. No, we are not hearing. Everybody else is hearing. Look at technology is funny side of technology. She is speaking, but we are not able to hear. Okay, anyway. Yeah, tell me, anybody else, what happens when the RBI open market operation understood? Ashwini? You understood open market operation? Anybody who understood open market operation? Nobody. Yeah, Anu.
Yes, sir.
So, right. Now tell me, what happens when the bond is sold into the market? RBI is having a bond. Okay, they have got a paper like this, and they are selling to the country. Yeah, suppose I have bought from them, or any institution has bought from the RBI. What happens to the money circulation in the country?
Reduces, no, sir?
Yes, madam. Okay. The money is coming out of the market to the RBI's wallet. Okay. If they are purchasing it, reverse will happen. Okay. When they are purchasing it, the bond will go to the RBI and the money will go into the market. Okay. So this is one of the method of increasing or decreasing the money circulation in the economy. Is it clear? The open market operation, look at this. And it is what is that? The selling of bond by the RBI, okay, leads to reduction in the quantity of the reserves, and hence the money supply is reduced. Okay, why? The bond is going to the public, and public is giving money to this one. Okay, so selling will always reduce, and purchasing will always increase it. Clear? Is that clear? Okay, who does this? It's done by the RBI. So we know what is CRR now. We know what is SLR now. We know what is open market operation also. Clear, guys? Okay, now let us go to the last topic of the day. Yeah, there are two types of open market operation, outright and repo. Yeah, I'll explain this also. The two types of open market operation. One is outright. This PDF is available in our website, right? geniuschannel.net. Yes or no? This PDF I've added, I think, yesterday. Outright open market is permanent in nature. When the central bank buys these securities, is injecting the money into the system, it is without any promise to sell them later. Okay, that is outright. Okay, they will not sell it later, but they'll only purchase it. Okay. Similarly, when the central bank sells these securities with thus withdrawing money from the system, it is without any promise to buy them. It is also known as outright. See, please follow me. If you are not understanding, please tell me clearly. So I am not understanding, sir. Kuch manasle many I had. At result, injection absorption of business is permanent in nature. However, there is another type of operations in which the banks buy the security. This agreement of purchase also has a specification about the date and sale of this security. This is known as repurchase agreement or repo agreement. The interest rate at this money is lent by this way is called repo rate. Similarly, instead of outright sale of the securities, one may sell securities through the agreement, which has a specification about the date and Reserve Bank of India connects repo on the various systems. Okay, listen, guys. Okay, actually, this book is very good in terms it gives a lot of open space for explaining. Yeah, look at this. Now we know what is open market operation. Open market operation. It is of two types. One is of permanent, okay, which is also known as outright. The second one is known as repo. Okay. In the permanent, what happens is they will buy or sell. That's it, done. They will not tell when I will be buying it back. Okay, when they sell it, okay, it is sold. That's it. They will not buy it back. Okay, there is no any mention about the date. When they purchase, also they will not sell it back. Okay, once it's sold, it is gone. Once it's purchased, it is with the RBI. Okay, so this gives an impact of permanently on the economy. So when they sell the government securities, they get a cash to the RBI. Okay, this is a permanent action. Okay, then we have to wait when they will come and do the other actions. You have to wait and see. Okay, so there is no you understand this when I explain the repo. In repo, they'll say that I am purchasing today. On the 7th day, I will sell it again. Okay, on the 14th day, I will buy it again. Okay, so when they sell, in that itself date is mentioned. Okay, this can be bought back on 7th of that day. Okay, or when they are purchasing it, they are saying that I will be selling it on the. So once they sell it, they give a time period and then they will purchase it. Once they purchase it, the time period is given, then they sell it. This kind of OMO is known as repo. Okay, that is known as repurchase. Repo means repurchase. Then we got reverse repurchase also. Okay, so OMO can be permanent. That means I just sell it. I will not buy it anytime. Okay, it is up to me. I will buy or I will not buy. Okay, but next time when I'm selling it, I'm saying that on the 7th day I'll buy it back. Okay, so you can bring back on 7th day and you get the cash. So this kind of OMOs are known as open market operation is permanent or repo. Clear or not clear? Okay, I'll repeat again. I think the calmness shows if people didn't understand or anybody understood. Anumol. Okay, it's a pleasant day. I think it could be sunny, but cloudy is there. It was raining heavily at 4 o'clock. Okay. But now it is calm. Yeah, Anumol, you understood, madam? Repo, OMO, and the outright OMO. No idea. No idea. If you understood, then my class is over. Otherwise, I have to explain it again. Farzana, ma'am. Dania. Nobody says anything, right?
Yes, sir. I want it again. Can you explain?
Who's that?
Farzana.
Farzana. Okay, you didn't understand the two types, right?
Repo.
You understood
Yeah,
OMO, you understood.
Yeah, I didn't understand repo OMO.
What is OMO? You understood that. But what different two types you didn't understand, isn't it?
Yeah, two types I didn't understand. Because the page was not seen. So when you were explaining, I didn't read.
Mm-hmm. Okay, look at this. Oops. Okay. Now it can be out. It can be outright or it can be repo. Okay. Outright means, okay, if anybody is there in my polity class, do you remember, guys, adjournment and adjournment sine die? Anybody? This is like adjournment sine die. Okay, it is for you. Then it is gone. There is no date mentioned. Here it is adjournment. Adjournments you have to come at 2 p.m. or tomorrow. So a date is given here. Okay, the date is given. That means when I will redo this. For example, I sell it today. Okay, so somebody got the bond with them. Okay, in the bond date will mention that this can be sold. That means the RBI will purchase it again on the 7th day or 10th day. They'll purchase it. Understood? So you have options. It's a temporary nature. It is a temporary nature where the selling happens today, and this selling will whatever was sold on this day can be bought back on the another day. 10th day or 20th day, they'll give a date. Understood? So this kind of selling or purchasing is known as repo. Okay. And what is this repo? Is a repurchase. Understood? It has got one more thing is reserve repo. That means when they're selling it, they'll be purchasing it back. When they're purchasing it, they'll be selling it back. Madam, understanding, madam? It is not permanent selling or permanent purchasing. There's a date is given, a time interval is given that on the 7th day onwards, you can sell it to me or you can buy it from me. Okay, that is why. First time they're selling it, for example, they're selling it on 1st of June. Okay, 1st of June, they're selling. In that bond itself, it is mentioned that it is available for purchasing on 7th day. So if you bought it today, on the 7th day, you can bring it and you can sell that back to the RBI. Okay. Whereas here, once I sell it, sold only. I will not purchase again. Okay, that is what is outright. It is a permanent in nature, but it's in temporary nature. Now, if you are not still understood, I have one more method of explaining. Look at this. There are two types of, listen from here. Okay. There are two types of open market operation, outright and repo. Outright open market operations are permanent in nature. When the central bank buys these securities, thus injecting money into the system. When they buy, when the RBI buys the securities, money is going to the system. That is why going into the economy. That is why saying injecting money into the economy is without any promise to sell them later. Is without any promise to sell them later. I repeat again, the outright open market. Are you able to see, Marzana madam? Others also?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. Now read this. Okay, outright open market operations are permanent in nature. When the central bank buys these securities, is without any promise to sell them later. Today I'm buying it. There's no guarantee that I'll sell it. So must you understand whether you want to sell it or not. Once I'm say bought it, I will not sell it again. Okay. Maybe or may not be. Okay. So as if now it is permanent. Outright open marketization is permanent in nature when the central bank buys these securities is without any promise to sell them later. Similarly, when the central bank sells these securities without any promise to buy them later, this is known as permanent. Is it clear? Is this only this is clear, madam?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, great. Now I'll go to the other one, that is a repo one. However, in another type of operation, the central bank buys a security. This agreement in the other instance, the central bank buys the security. This agreement of purchase also has a specification about the date and the price of resale of this security. Okay, that means when you are purchasing it, in that little date will be given and the price will be given, that when you can sell it back. Okay, this type of agreement is called repurchase agreement or repo agreement. Okay, I'm repeating. There is another type of operation in which the central bank buy it. So the bond is coming to the RBI. The bond is coming to the RBI. Okay, that is RBI is purchasing it. Okay, buys the security. This agreement purchase also specifics about the date and the price of resale. When I will be selling it, that selling date is mentioned in that. Okay, and what is the price I'm going to sell? That is also mentioned in that. Okay, this kind of agreement is known as repurchase agreement or repo agreements. Okay, that means when I am selling to the RBI, I'll have an agreement with RBI. I will be repurchasing it. I'll purchase it on next day and this one. Similarly, when instead of outright sales of this one securities, central bank may sell the securities through the agreement, which is specification of the date of the purchase and the price at which they will be purchasing it. That is known as repurchase. This agreement is known as reverse of repurchase. Clear, madam? In the first one, it is permanent one. I am not mentioning any date. I am just saying that I am selling or I am buying without any guarantee of buying it back. But in the kinds of this one, repo, I'll say that I'll buy it back or I'll sell it back. Clear? The rate at which the money is withdrawn in this manner is known as reserve repo rate. Okay. The Reserve Bank of India conducts repo and reverse repo operation in various maturities overnight. That means only one day is there. You have to give that within 1 day or 7 days or 14 days. Okay. These are the templates which is already available within which time. This type of operation have now become the main tool of monetary policy of the Reserve Bank of India. Clear. Okay, so what we have seen CRR, we have seen SLR, we have seen OMO. In OMO, we have seen two. One is permanent and the other one is outright. Okay, so outright is permanent, the other one is repo. Clear.
Where are the situations these are used, sir? Like repo purchases when and the outright purchases when? Like how the situation where it will be happening? I didn't understand the context.
Okay, understand the context. Huh? Okay. Understand
when it is applied, actually.
Actually, RBI has one idea that only for short term they want to do it. For example, the inflation has happened because of the onion price has increased. Okay, or you can say that way I'll do this one. Onion, not a good idea. Okay, now suppose assume that when a foreigner has come to India, okay, and he has brought some $1,000 to India. Okay, and this $1,000 into 70, so 70,000 rupees has come into the Indian economy. Okay. Now this is creating demand. Inflation has created. Okay. Now they want to remove this money only for temporary purpose. Then after some time they think that things will become normal. Only for temporary period they want to remove this excess of money. That time they will say that I'm going for repo selling. Okay. That means they will sell it for 1 week, then they will again purchase it. Okay. Only for small shock they want to, small window within which they want to do this. Okay. In some cases, like inflation is very huge, it's over and again it's happening, and this one people have got more cash in hand, so then they will do it permanently. Okay. As that is all. So temporary is done only for small window when they have small target that they will do. The other one is done for the this one. Okay. If you don't understand, then I will give another
I
example.
got it. Yes. Senior idea I
Understand?
got it. Yeah.
Okay, man. I'll explain that tomorrow also. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the class is over, guys. Anything else you want to know? Okay, so we started with the editorial. Okay, we started with the editorial. We started with the why it is not good to have a free electricity. Okay, then we said how G7 becomes G11. The other two editorials, very simple editorial. Okay, then we went to the this one bank. Okay, I said how the bank acts as a financial intermediaries. We got a story of Lala. Okay, then from there we understood how the money is created more than what it is having. Then we talked about reserves. That means the bank will not give all the money. They'll keep as reserve. In addition to that, RBI also mandates definitely you have to keep some reserves. They are known by the name CRR, SLR. Okay. Then RBI also conducts OMO separately to take the money out. Here we are saying outright on the repo. Okay. Won't read this. Okay, I think a lot of chat message 25 is there. I understood. I speak. I cannot reach you. Okay. Anything else you have written? Please explain open market operation. Vishmi, you understood open market operation? Okay. Farsana is laughing. 5% Google showing. What is 5% Google showing? Farzana, madam, you said 5.
Yeah, the rates, you said 4%, no?
Which one?
Google showed 5%.
Which one?
Okay.
CRR.
Yeah, CRR.
Google is wrong, madam. Vijay is always.
So I said it that time.
Okay, let me check. It cannot be 5%. It's just because now they have lowered it further. It should be below 5%. I'll give below 4%. Let me check 1 second.
Okay.
CRR.
Cash
CR.
reserve
3%,
ratio.
madam. Currently it is 3%.
Okay.
Okay, madam. It is currently 3%. It has been reduced further. As on 22nd of May, it is 3%. It is less than 4% because they have reduced further.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Fine.
But that number you need to remember that always changes.
Yeah,
But
sure,
around 4% is what you have to understand.
No, that time you were saying just check whether I'm right. So that time I sent that message.
Okay. Anyway, but it's around 4% is normal norms. Okay, yeah, they keep it. But this time they have lowered it further because they want banks to lend more and more to the people because economic downturn is there. So they want banks to give more loan. That is why it has been further reduced. Now it is 3% currently. Okay. Okay, guys, that comes to the end of the class. Have a nice day. Enjoy, study. Sir, on what date the second editorial? On which date the second editorial was published? Today's date. It's today. I always take today's hot news, morning news. Both the editorials today's editorial. Today's editorial, yes. And both are there in our this also in the portal have uploaded. Today's newspaper. Today's what's that? Today's 4th June. Yeah, any other doubt, please, ma'am. Okay, yes. See you. Bye bye.